Welcome to the Zip Zero podcast. Zip Zero
with your host
Shannon Griffin.
What's up, Jason Manchester?
What is going on, man?
Living the dream.
Digging the intro. I was about to get up on the table and dance a little bit.
We'll have to take the overlay off and see if we make that happen.
What happened?
Oh man, just chilling. That was done by Super David Young. He's the producer up here in Durham. He's pretty good. I like it. You know,
sounds good, man. Sounds legit. I mean, that's what you want. You know.
Yeah. So this is episode number 1. You know, let's get it.
Welcome to the podcast. The podcast game, man.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty stoked. I didn't realize you had been in it as long as you had when we first started there. So it's good to talk to you. Figured, your wits about you here, so you're gonna be comfortable. So this should be fun.
Well, it will be, man. Been in it about a year, but before you know it, you'll be looking back too, and it's a fun thing. Yeah, it's good just to get together and talk and BS, and we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, man. Where can people find your podcast? Start them off here in case they decide to turn it off later because I'm an idiot.
People can find my podcast it's Manchester's Podcast. Obviously you can find it, wherever you listen to your podcast. So Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart Radio, anywhere, wherever you listen to it. There's people listening to different places. So it's Manchester's Podcast, and it's the same thing on Instagram. So, and I'll leave the links in there also. So if you want to check it out and subscribe, hit it up.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff. You guys need to check it out. So what conspiracy theory do we want to get into today?
I am good with a lot of stuff, man. I am all about, I'll tell you, anytime somebody talks about conspiracy theories, the first thing that comes to my mind usually is the UFOs. It's like the biggest thing that people ever talk about. And especially when was it? What is this? 2021, 2020, summertime, maybe. When was it that the government came out with the fact that they are not going to deny that UFOs do not exist, or that they don't have it, somewhere.
Didn't they basically release 3 videos that they just said they couldn't explain it. They didn't say it was of extraterrestrial. They're just unidentified flying objects. So that's kind of how they got by with it.
Well, I mean, that's, yeah. I think I didn't dig deep into it. I think what they did is probably declassified a lot of stuff, after they marked out all the important stuff, and then they declassify it. I don't know how that works, but I'm just guessing. But you always see the papers where they black things out, all the good information that you really need.
Yeah.
And then it becomes declassified, and then everybody gets it. And then you got to read between the lines. So,
yeah, I don't think it clarified anything. All the footage I watched that supposedly they released, I think they've got Commander Fravors video, which, shows that just absurdly fast object and then being able to lock onto it, and then it jammed the system and whatnot, the tracking system.
Is that's the Tic Tac one?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's like the most talked about. But I think because if you look at the video, if nobody's seen the video, if you look at the video and they show, what was it, like 60,000 feet or something like that, and it dropped to like a foot above the water in like seconds. I mean,
yeah, like an incomprehensible speed.
Yeah. So between that and then jamming stuff and all that, yeah, I mean, nobody can figure out what the hell it was. He can't figure out what it was. He just knows that it's definitely not of anything of here. Anything that they've seen anyway. People who've flown jets and things like that, they've never seen anything like that before. So, and the speeds and the no trail and everything behind the jet or behind the object, So
yeah,
I don't know.
They were just saying that he's like, I don't know if it was UFO. He's just, I've never seen it before, and it flies faster than anything I've ever seen before. Right? I mean, all the interviews I've heard and what him talk about it, that's kind of how he described it.
Well, so I mean, if you, well, I pulled something up and they show it, but if you do see it, it is kind of, you can't explain it. I
Mhm.
mean, what else? Obviously, it's a UFO. So the first thing is a UFO. Just because somebody says that does not mean it's from not a
Extraterrestrial.
from. Yeah, exactly. I think people get lost in the fact that first thing they say is UFOs. All of a sudden, there's aliens on board. But
I
that
hope
thing right
so.
there, I'm watching the video right now, man. It's insane. You know how
Yeah,
fast it moves, and they've talked about things coming out of the ocean and stuff too. There's been
right.
different sightings of things like that, but I mean, I don't know. Do you believe? Do you think that we are the only like living beings, not just in the solar system? I'm talking about the universe. If the universe is as vast as they say it is, do you think we're the only beings in a on a when you pan backwards? I think we've talked about this before, but if you like zoom out and
Mhm.
just look at our solar system, you can't find our planet. Just in our solar, I mean, just in our galaxy. Now, if you go back even further and you know, look at the whole universe as far as you can, you're going to tell me that there can't be something out there? you
Yeah, it
know?
doesn't make any sense to think that there's not. Now, in the span of development, if we evolve over time, you're looking at millions upon millions of years. Where are these other life forms in that developmental stage? And did they start out well before we did?
Well, you don't
Started
know. I mean, and there's a good chance that we won't. There's a good chance that we won't see them. I mean, if you think about it, we can't go anywhere physically.
Mhm.
Really, like, so we're sending crafts to Mars supposedly that there's nobody on board. I know they're talking about doing. Elon Musk is wanting to, colonize Mars, but um, we can't make it there. That doesn't mean that there's other people or other beings out somewhere else that also can't do the same thing. They can't make it to us, so we may never
Right.
know. But you never. There could be some things out there that were here a long time before us.
Do you mind if I go on record saying that I think Elon Musk might be an extraterrestrial himself? That dude is
Man,
wicked smart.
I'm with you on that. He is. I don't know. It's like the things he talks about so easy for him to talk about too. You know, it's like it's just as a matter of fact, it's like us making bacon and eggs. He's making things that are blowing people's
Right.
mind. It's like making a car that you can drive literally 360 miles without touching the steering wheel if you don't want to.
He was talking about, I think he was posed with the question of solar power of these cars, the Tesla cars and whatnot. And you would really only be able to charge with the surface area of a car if you made the whole exposed area of the car only charge a few miles a day. If you could get 15 miles of charge out of a car a day, that's really all you could get. And he said that'll never get better
Yeah.
because
Well,
of how much energy the sun produces per square meter. So the solar technology will never get better. Now, you could solar power your house, which would produce enough solar energy to recharge your car, or the talks of a possible Tesla van that will have panels large enough that could possibly fold out in order to make a more efficient system for traveling and recharging.
well, I mean, I don't know. If somebody was going to do it, he'd be the one to do it to make it work.
Yeah.
To make it work to where it would be commonplace. Um, Already, I mean, you can charge it. So I know people have said, "Oh, well, I don't want to have to stop and charge for 15 minutes for half, to fill it up
Mhm.
halfway, or 30 minutes to completely redo it." I mean, so, but I'm like, okay, so if you drive 300, what is it? Like, I think the most legitimate is like 320 miles. So if you drive that and you find a charging station, you can stop and eat and all that, and your car will be charged. So it's really no different than going, okay, I'm going to pull over and eat, and then I'm going to go get gas.
Yeah.
People complain about it, but it's like they find the weirdest things to complain about because I'm sure at some point I can go, you know what? Okay, we've driven 250 miles on our map. It takes you to where you can find charging stations, right? You can program it in there. So you go and you find that charging station at say 250 miles. You just get you something to eat, you know, go to your local Cracker Barrel because it takes you over an hour to eat there anyway.
Right.
Go 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 fill up and you're done. You're good to go, you know? So I think it's cool. I think it's a cool concept. I think it's going to do nothing but get better. I think it's going to become more of a way of life than gas vehicles. I don't think they're going to do away with gas vehicles, but I think
I
it's going
don't
to become more of a way of life.
Yeah, I don't think the energy grid's going to be able to be just one type of energy source. I think we're going to have to continue to have fossil fuels, wind, solar. There could be a combination of that. I mean, we saw a problem with it in Texas where they were more dependent on one type of energy source, and that kind of shit the bed this past winter.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they'll do a workaround with that. I have no idea what that would be. I'm not quite on Elon Musk's level, but I'm sure that he's got all kinds of things mapped out, and so I don't know. It's
So
going
have
to
you
be interesting to see what happens.
have you heard of the new Plaid, the Tesla
Yes, I've looked
Plaid?
at them. Yeah, yeah.
Holy smokes, man! That 0 to 60 time is insane.
It's like what, a little bit over 2 seconds.
Yeah, like 2.8 or something like that. It
Yeah,
beats the last one in ludicrous mode by 0.4 seconds or something.
he said it's insane to feel what it's like to sit in that car and go from 0 to 60. I mean, I couldn't imagine. My Chevrolet's close, but not quite.
Right.
But
My Forerunner with
um,
the wind behind it, maybe downhill, falling off of a cliff
yeah.
to get
I mean,
there.
we just rode a roller coaster at Universal that's similar to that. It's like 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds or whatever it is.
Mhm.
That shit's crazy. I couldn't imagine doing that from a red light.
Were
I
you
mean,
were you living in North Carolina when they had White Lightning at Carowinds?
white lightning.
Yeah, that was the roller coaster that said lightning strikes now, and then it launches out of the gate. It goes one big loop, goes up to the top, and then comes back.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Way old school.
yeah. I remember
That
that one.
lasted
God,
like
I forgot
15
all about
seconds.
that. Yeah, that's
They
pretty
made
cool.
the Carolina Cobra or something like that. There's a similar one now that's there. There's two of them, but I can't remember the name. I think it's there. I mean, I could be completely wrong.
I haven't been there in a long time. It's been a long time. Um, I just know that the Hulk at Universal's insanely fast.
Yeah,
I mean, it so hey, you rode it? Have you been there? Have you
yes,
rode that?
because
So
they
it's
had the Fast and the Furious car out front where the Hulk's fists were punched through it. I don't know if they
yeah.
still have that there, but
Um, you know what? I don't even know. I don't think they do anymore, but I don't know. I just remember it was the first time I rode it, and as we're going up, I'm thinking it's going to be like a regular roller coaster. Like, this ain't bad. It doesn't have that dip that goes, when you always go up and then go straight down.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have that. This ain't gonna be that bad. And then as you're going up, you're like literally a second into it going up, and it just shoots you out like a. And I wasn't expecting it, but it was pretty cool, man. It was great. It's a good time.
So,
I don't know how we got on that from UFOs, but we got there.
technology, I guess.
Um, but yeah, it's I don't know, man. The Tesla thing is cool for sure. I've looked into them. They're expensive, but um, I don't know. They're on
What
the
do you think of
radar for sure.
the Cybertruck? What do you think about that?
I don't know. It's not. It's kind of crazy. I think the way it looks, does it still look the same?
Yep.
From the initial, I saw a mock up of it.
Mild changes. They
On
made it slightly smaller so it would fit through the boring tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looks like something I've seen in a movie before. I can't think of the movie, but it looks like something I've seen. Um, or maybe it's just a DeLorean. It looks like a jacked up DeLorean.
Kind of, and it
Um,
also looks like some crazy computer game from the 80s when everything was just blocks.
yeah, no, it does for sure. I don't know. I mean, is it? Have they talked about when it's coming out?
I think it's possibly next year.
I'm
So
sure it's going to be expensive. Oh, you can order it right now if you want to.
I think you can put $50 down.
I know it was. I don't know.
They did that to gauge
$100.
interest. 100. Yeah, I think they
Hey,
did
it's
that
not
to
that
gauge.
expensive.
No, it's what, 60s, 70s.
So it's single motor rear wheel drive. Say that fast. Oh, I'll tell you this in a second. So it's 39.9. Then you got dual motor all-wheel drive for 49.9 and tri-motor all-wheel drive for 69.9. So it's actually that's not that
Affordable.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's got a
But
350-mile range too.
250 plus mile, 7,500 plus pounds towing capacity, 0 to 60 in less than 6.5 seconds.
That's ridiculous. That's a lot of towing power too.
But it does have an option if you want to. You can pay with your Apple Card.
Sweet.
Somebody's got 70 grand on their Apple Card. I guess they're doing pretty good. So
Right.
I don't think
I think Apple's trying to develop a car too, correct?
I don't know, but I would not doubt that at all.
I saw a meme the other day that said the Apple Car 2 is coming out and the Apple Car 1s only go 25 miles an hour and then chaos ensues. They throttle them back so you can buy the new model.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that either. I mean,
Right.
it's funny how the phones start to act up when they start to announce new phones coming out, you know.
Yeah.
So right after a year. I don't know. Cybertruck I don't know. I don't know how I would use that. It looks pretty cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, that the technology and development of that stuff is it's insane. But we can segue back to the alien talk here. You know, when aliens around the 50s is when really people started paying more attention to UFOs and whatnot. So you probably have a lot of crazy sightings of people seeing things they didn't understand for sure. But you see a crazy amount of stealth technology jump from that
Yeah.
time on, and aerodynamics. I mean, it kind of lends itself to one, we had a huge technology jump around the same time supposedly these alien aircrafts were found.
Yeah, well, the stealth thing for sure. I think because if you look back at what like our aircrafts look like, right, for a long time, just
Yeah.
normal aircrafts, and then you had I'm trying to find what's the I got the picture of it here. I'm trying to
The
look at which one.
B2 or the
Is that
SR-71
the one that looked like the big, almost like
Jealous
a
wings.
triangle, and then it looked like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was the B2, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. Um, if you look at that and you didn't know that we had that in our arsenal,
Mhm.
I think it's B2, F-22,
The F-22
F-35.
is the Raptor, which was a replacement for the F-15, if I'm not mistaken. But then
So the
that didn't last
B2,
very long. The F-35 is what they're using now, correct? More so?
I think so. I was trying to find, well, I think so. But the B2 is the one I was talking about, that if you didn't know we had that and you just see it flying,
Mhm.
you know, in daylight, which you probably wouldn't because it flies so damn high, but if you were to see it, you would think that it could be some kind of alien space,
Right.
or not from here anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, when you when you look at the pictures of what people have of UFOs or what people have drawn or whatever, that looks a lot like it's similar to probably some of the drawings that have been out there.
Yeah.
So I don't
You
know.
know,
I mean,
stealth technology, yes. I think the look of it probably, there's a lot of paper airplanes that have this similar wing shape that fly well. So, everybody's been folding all kinds of crazy airplanes their entire lives. So it's not a stretch to think that that could have been the case. And if you look at it from the side, the profile of it looks like a bird in flight. So the way the bird's stomach is, the way the profile of the plane is, so that aerodynamics could have been taken. So it's not a reach to think that the aerodynamic aspect of that was designed by somebody that was pretty creative, but the stealth technology of how it just, is not able to be picked up. It looks like a bird. I think the only it looks like a bird. It's only like a square foot space that actually gets picked up by radar.
yeah. Um,
And I could be completely wrong on that. That's how it was explained to me, but people don't always explain everything 100% accurately.
so there's one that it says EDI Stealth UCAV aircraft. I don't know what the hell that means, but trying to pull this one up. It looks like a something that's not from this world.
Right.
But it's
Have you seen the old videos of the guys trying to build flying saucers? The military were building disc shaped planes or aircraft. They were basically like hovercrafts. So they had some of them had 4 propellers inside of a disc, and it worked like a gyroscopic drone today. Essentially, it was a drone with a shell.
No, I haven't seen those, but I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that they've tried to not only if they exist, if they have had, aircraft from another planet or another world wherever hit here and they have it. I mean, what do? They trying to fly it? They trying to reverse engineer, trying to build something like it, or trying to use what it is? I mean, the thing is if it's they've had them supposedly since the 50s, but why would it just be the 50s is when somebody decided to come to the Earth,
Yeah.
to this planet? I mean, are they
Navy Federal Credit Union member?
Oh, please. I'm trying to queue up this video so you can see this insane craziness. But yeah, the 50s, who knows, man? They've got to get here for the first time at some point.
I know it, and it's to me, it's weird how it's. So they have maps you can pull up where a lot of UFO sightings have been had, and they show the majority of where they're at or where they've been sighted. And it's, a lot of them has been around like, military bases and obviously in like New Mexico, Texas, places like that. I wanted to pull up a map and see if you can probably pull it up and look at it, but it's you can see where they've throughout the United States where they have the most sightings.
Right. Now, I'm going to play this for you and take a look at this bad boy.
Test flying saucer. So they're saying they're testing a flying saucer. Never mind. This answers a lot of questions.
Yeah. Wow. So this is 60 to 61.
The production value is through the roof.
Hey, bud, you got the dude over there cranking the camera.
Following the introduction of modifications, which had been indicated by the results of full-scale...
See how it's like a hovercraft?
Yeah.
The SA Ames Research Center, a continuation test program was begun. The objective of this program was to prove the effectiveness
I'm pretty sure
system from hovering through
that they didn't master that technology, whatever they were trying to replicate.
Dude, I can go faster on a bicycle. I can go faster running. That's not faster than, I don't know. I'm assuming what would be the speed of sound, but I don't know.
That's definitely not what those guys that got the Tic Tac on video. That is definitely not it. But that was also 50, 60 years ago.
So, okay. So back to the question. Do you think there is, you think we actually have in our possession something that's not from the planet? You think there's actually been things, aliens, whatever you want to call them, other people or other beings? Do you think they've made it here?
I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out.
And why would they come here? Out of all the places, why would they come here?
That's
reason, my question.
The same reason we would go somewhere else. Just because
we really haven't gone anywhere else. We can't make it anywhere.
Right.
Not with a person.
But that's just because we're seeing it based on our development. We go hiking in the woods. This could be hiking in the woods. They're developing technology that probably warps time and space to get from A to B.
But that's what I'm saying. Why? It just seems like it's like, oh, here's a planet. These guys, these are idiots. They can't even keep up with us. We don't need to come back here. We need to find another place.
Think of all the yahoos that their entire life is dedicated to studying ants. We're way more exciting than ants are, bro.
I don't know. Well, it's just, I guess I'm not saying I don't believe in it, because I guess you could. I guess there could be something that has made it here. there's just other questions that go along with it. I mean, why here? Why us? And how long have they really been coming here?
Yeah.
You know, some people say that they think that okay, so you have the people that believe in the Big Bang Theory, you have people that believe that God created everything, and then you have some people that think that aliens came down a long time ago and we're just, you know, we are a byproduct of, you know, of them, you know, and
Basically putting their DNA with, whatever
yeah,
gorillas or whatever was out there to.
whatever. I mean, you can go deeper than that, but that's the top of it. But that's what, there's a group of people that believe that could be happening. They're just coming back to do tests and making sure that we don't hurt ourselves.
It seems like there's a lot more sightings when something's really about to go down in a bad way.
Yeah.
I think
It's like, hold on,
anytime
guys, chill.
these hairless monkeys can blow the world up 12 times. That's what they're doing. They're sending people out like, make sure those idiots do not kill themselves.
Yeah. Somebody got word to get, look, these guys have nuclear bombs now. Okay. They can devastate they can annihilate this planet that we built. We need to make sure that they don't break this. It's like grandma's fine china,
Right.
don't touch that, so they were coming down to go, don't fuck with anything. Just leave it as it is. You're doing fine. Stay on the same path.
I'll tell you that if any kind of small rodent learned how to use a handgun and there was a whole bunch of them shooting each other, dude, I would go watch it for sure. Not close because I'd be afraid I'd get shot randomly, but I'd watch it from afar. I'd watch it on TV.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird, man. It's I guess I don't think about it enough, except when people talk about it or it comes up, like when the government made it known, that whatever. I don't know what their reasoning was for all of a sudden in 2020 to do that. I don't know if it was to divert it from all the pandemic bullshit, but it's just a weird time to come out with it. I mean, I don't know.
Or there was so much stuff going on, they just threw it out there and nobody seemed to care.
It was like, this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
Do it now. They're worried about the pandemic. Everybody's, worried about dying. Let's throw it out there and nobody will even catch wind of it. And we can say that we did it.
Yeah. Their house is on fire. They're not going to pay attention to the grass not being mowed right now. So
I don't know, man. It's weird. It's a fun thing to talk about because I think deep down there's a lot of people that want it to happen. But then comes in the question that's been asked a million times is, why would the government not tell us about it? And I think you see why the government wouldn't tell us. I mean, I think we handled a pandemic okay, but everybody wanted to jump off the fucking ledge, when they couldn't leave the house. Like, could you imagine if they came out at that time and go, hey, aliens exist and here's documentation of it. Aliens are coming here. People would flip out. You'd never be able to buy anything at the grocery store because everybody could buy everything up.
Yeah, toilet paper because that'll keep the aliens away.
Well, it didn't do anything for the pandemic, that's for sure.
Yeah. What the pandemic there? Why were people buying toilet paper?
I don't know, man. I still can't figure that out. I mean,
blowing your nose, wiping your ass. I'm not sure which one will work. Because you have more of a respiratory illness with it, but you don't have the shits, do you?
I don't know. I heard early on, I heard that I guess it caused that, but still, why? I don't know why you would hoard. I mean, why toilet paper? Why, of all things in a grocery store, why toilet paper?
Well,
why not?
Somebody made the point that it wasn't necessarily that they were buying so much toilet paper, but toilet paper takes up so much store space. So you'd have like 24 packages of toilet paper. And when those 24 are gone, it looks really empty because one unit takes up so much space. So it was the visual of it was a little crazier.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like you couldn't find any, and then they were selling it on Amazon for an unreasonable amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember looking when they said that toilet paper was running out. I was like, well, shit, I'll just go on Amazon. I went on Amazon. I shit you not. I went on there, and they had some toilet paper, the kind that we usually buy, and I was going to buy it. And I was like, nah, this is stupid. I'm not going to do that. And then literally within minutes, it went from normal price to like $65. Or I'm
That's
throwing that
insane.
number out there. It was somewhere around that though. It was up there. And I was like, holy shit. It's literally the shit's going to hit the fan. I mean, but I don't know. Why toilet paper? Why not milk? Why not bread? I mean, when hurricanes come and you're going to lose electricity, everybody wants to buy milk.
Which is a terrible idea.
It's milk and eggs and bread. It's like, what are you going to do when your electricity goes out? I mean, if you have a generator, it's fine, but I think you need to start, stocking up on water and,
That's what we did, man. We started stocking up on water filtration scenarios, and then a bunch of non-perishable stuff. We probably still have a month's worth of food located in one of our closets in case, because it was going to be serious, and we went ahead and planned and got all that stuff when other people were, I don't know, people don't know how to plan or survive, so they're buying a whole bunch of random crap they don't need. And we were buying some of the stuff that we could utilize over the next few months if it got really crazy. Because we had the gas shortage, and then you had people that couldn't get gas, and then when was that? A couple of years ago, when that there had that pipeline fire or problem where they were not able to get gas out very quickly to everyone, and then the station.
Talking about the BP fire?
I believe so. Is that the one that caused?
That was like how long ago was that?
It's happened since I've lived here, and I've been in this house for 4 years.
The one about Deepwater Horizon, that one?
No. I mean, it lasted for a couple weeks. Nobody had fuel, and then there were some people price gouging fuel and whatnot, but it didn't take
when that
3
happened.
days.
Yeah. No, it happened when I lived in Charlotte too, and that was gas went up to like close to $5 a gallon.
Yeah.
And higher, and people ran out. And when they got it back, it was very limited. You were only allowed to do $15 worth at a time.
Yep.
So no matter what you were driving, you could put $15, which at that time $5 a gallon at for $15, it's not much.
No.
I mean, that's pretty simple math. You know that you're not getting much above E.
I believe I was living at the beach then. I think I was working with Monster, and I was driving a Cherokee that got 10 miles to the gallon when gas was $4.50 or whatever. Yeah. It hurt.
That was a rough one, man. So I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but I did watch the movie last night that we talked about. So you talking about conspiracy theories?
Greenland?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that could be. I mean, do you think something like that? I was talking to my wife. She goes, I don't like movies like that because they're like real. I was like, yeah, it can be. I mean, that could legitimately happen. I mean, you think about it, they don't want to tell you the truth because basically, if someone listens to this, I don't want to blow it for them, but they basically lied to everybody.
Yeah, said that comment wasn't going to be a big deal, and it was an extinction level event.
Yeah. And you could only get through if you had the presidential, or what was that? The presidential, the call, whatever it was, to say you were picked. It was like a lottery pick.
There's a scan code based on whatever you could give to society, I guess. But I think the part of that movie, I started watching it without Misty watching it, and when they were in the car and that one lady's trying to get them to take their little girl because none of the other people in the neighborhood were selected. That was heart-wrenching. So I paused it, and I knew that she was going to like the movie because that's a lot of character development. And that's exactly how it would be.
I know. My wife was struggling with that one, and that's what I was like. Well, I said, look, man, at that point, there's nothing you can do. I mean, so you could risk. It's just like he said. That's what I like about it. It was kind of realistically written and done.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too fake as far as what the family would have did, because he said if you would have taken the girl, they run the risk of either A, not going through, and they'll have to leave the girl out there by herself.
Mhm.
because they're not taking under no circumstances are they taking anybody, right? Unless you
Right.
were picked by the lottery. So it's a struggle. It'd be hard to do, especially I mean, if you have kids or been around kids, you know it's tough, So it
Yeah,
was a
because
good
you
movie
want to do
though.
that
It
with your
was really
kid too. You would make the sacrifice if they could take your kid. You would trade if you're a parent worth a damn. You would definitely want your kids to be safe.
Oh
You know,
yeah. Well, yeah, because I was thinking about that when um they went to the girl's father's house and he said that he wasn't going to go. And the whole time I was thinking, I was like, I would probably do the same thing because I'd be like, I'm not going. If I was 70 something years old, I said, look, I've lived a good life. No reason for me to go, you know? I mean, and it'd be kind of like that. I would rather my kids go and be safe and live their life. I mean, if you lived a long enough life, who gives a shit at that point, right? And
right?
chances are when that thing hits, you ain't gonna feel anything anyway, right?
No,
So
it should be pretty quick. You'd hate to
yeah,
be on that one that if it hit like 100 miles away,
yeah.
and then just the ash covers the sun and everything dies slowly.
Or it would just get to you even slower, just be like a slow burn, It would be that would be my luck. I would just like catch fire like by a little bit and I would just suffer for like 2 hours.
Just your shins down will be on fire for the longest time. You couldn't put it out or something weird.
That'd be my luck. Or I'd get hit by one of those smaller pieces coming down and
Mhm.
it would take like it would, take a leg off or something and I would
Yeah.
just slowly bleed out. That'd be my luck.
Or it'd
It
be
wouldn't
like
happen fast.
it would like be a BB size and it would go through
Yeah,
you, so it wouldn't be fatal,
yeah.
but it would hurt really bad for a very long
For a
time.
long time, for like a week. And you know it's coming. So at least that way, the comet was coming, and once it hit, you were dead. Like, places that were, where it was, ground zero, when
Yeah,
they showed it, you can see where the crater was. I mean, those people are, like, there and gone the next second. Yeah, I
right.
couldn't be that lucky.
No.
I'd be way on the outskirts. I'd be, like, at the North Pole or something, you
That was
know?
a crazy effect where he stepped outside and then the impact blast, the
Yeah,
shockwaves came through the neighborhood.
yeah.
I don't know if it would really look like that, but it was a pretty
Well,
cool idea, at least, to put that into a visual for people. I thought that was a good run at it.
yeah, well, I mean, shockwaves are real. I
Right.
mean, can you see them? I don't know.
Oh, you can see
I
them.
guess you could,
Yeah,
especially coming through there, knowing that it's picking up all kinds of debris and stuff, and
yeah.
pushing it along. So I don't know. I guess that's pretty close to. It was. I don't know. Look real to me. Look better than some of the previous movies that I saw like that. And that's the thing is there's so many of them. I know we talked about Deep Impact before,
Mhm.
and um,
2012, I think that was another one that
yeah,
was in the same time frame. What
was that
happened with the
a
Mayan calendar?
That's another conspiracy. I mean, that was kind of like the um when 2000 came around.
Yeah.
Everybody thought the world was going to end, computers were going to cease to work, and all that kind of stuff.
What did you think? Well, I'm going to tell you what I thought, and then you tell me what your whole impression was. I thought, and this is what I told myself so I could deal with it, was that basically all it would do is go back because I knew a little bit about computers. It's going to go back and rewrite all your records back to 1901. That's
Yeah,
it. It'll just flip over. They didn't put the extra 4 digits at the end. Probably not going to be a big pain until like 20 or 1930, 1940, when more of that stuff is added in that was relevant to needing to be stored
yeah.
data wise.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't put any thought into it. Really, I just didn't. I mean, I think honestly, I can't remember what I thought. I know that I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I do know that, but I think that it was more of a. I think everybody was ready for it. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was just a way for people to panic and start talking shit about stuff and have something to really, talk shit about. Um, I found it really hard to believe that the government and everything that had to do with computers and how it was evolving. Computers were still fairly new at the time as far as the way they were progressing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were, we had them, but it wasn't like it is now where you could have this type of laptop. I don't know what you're on right now, if you're on a desktop or not, but like I have my MacBook here. I mean, who would have thought that you would be able to have a MacBook like this or any kind of PC this size, and you're doing the things that we're doing now? It wasn't like that. Computers had the big back to it and all that. So that's what I mean. When they're fairly new, the technology was nowhere close to now.
No.
But I still think that at that time, everybody, it was like, how could they let that happen? You don't think that the year 2000 was coming? It's not like it slips up on you. It's like sitting at a green light or a red light, and then the person in front of you takes 30 seconds to go. It's like it creeps up on them all of a sudden. Oh shit, a green light! I wasn't expecting that. It's not like the year 2000 came up and go, oh shit, what the hell are we going to do now? We didn't know we were going to make it to now.
Prince gave everybody enough of a heads up.
I know. So I don't know. I never put a lot of thought into that. I thought it was interesting and it was fun because it was like the countdown. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. Here we are, 10 seconds to go.
What were you doing as the turn of the century happened?
I can't even remember. It was, I don't know, drinking somewhere.
Yeah. Me and my buddy Johnny went to Charleston, South Carolina, and there was a rave party on the court square of the big courthouse down there.
21 years ago. 20 years ago.
Shush your mouth. That doesn't seem like
God, a long time ago, man.
Yeah, man. We were 21 years ago. It's 23 years old.
You know what's crazy is how many people are alive now that didn't experience that.
And they're drinking.
Yes.
That's the crazy part. They're adults.
I know. Yeah. They can legally do now what we were legally doing at that time.
Right. Just barely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were babies being born that year. So you think they were going to let something shit to happen to the computer systems around the world? So I don't know, man. It was, I think it was just a big, I don't even know how it started. I have no idea how that thing started.
Man, I think everything gets sensationalized to get people's attention.
Well, especially now. I
mean, get ratings.
I still think the pandemic is I think parts of it were conspiracy. I just think it was. I think it's real. I think it's bad. And I think if you get it, it sucks, because if I had it when I had it last year, a year ago, if that's what it was, it sucks ass big time.
Right.
But I still think that they overinflated everything,
Yeah, I think it did. All the precautionary measures that everyone's taken with the hand sanitizer and masks and things like that. At least we had a more clean flu season.
Yeah, you had a more clean society.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man.
I can't imagine having to be told that I have to wash my hands. I do clean my hands more now when I didn't before. I mean, I do the normal. I have to use the bathroom before you eat and all that stuff.
Wait, after the bathroom? Jeez.
Well, it only depends if it's number 2, not number 1.
What's my left hand? So I don't for the number 2, so you're good to go.
But I mean, when I find myself touching things that are not like mine or whatever, I find myself washing my hands or using hand sanitizer a lot more than I used to.
What crazy technique are you using to open doors now?
So basically what I do, like if I go into a bathroom, I'll if I can, I get the paper ready. So like I'll pull the paper down and then I'll wash my hands. Because, if you see, people will go in there and they'll wash their hands and they'll cut everything off and touch everything and then get the paper towels.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll pull the paper towels down and then I'll wash my hands and then I get the paper towel. That way I don't have to touch anything afterwards. And then I use the paper towel, I dry my hands. And if it's not automatic, then I'll turn the lever off with the paper towel, and then I'll use the paper towel to open the door, and then I'll throw the paper towel away. That's generally how I do it.
It might be an uncommon practice, but I like to take a straw and slurp up all the water on the sink, and I think it's building my immune system up.
It could be.
Maybe.
You never know. I mean, growing up, man, Nobody gave a shit about what we ate and how we ate it, and played in dirt and drank
Dirty.
out of a water hose and drank after each other. I mean, how many did you ever drink out of the same drink as somebody else growing up?
I still do. It doesn't bother me.
I mean,
Not somebody I don't know, of course, but yeah, back then you just passed it around.
dude, there were people that have colds, and you would go, "You have a cold?" "Well, I did last week." "Okay, I'm good." And they would drink, after you.
Yeah.
It's like, who gives a shit? That was last week. Okay, I'm good.
I mean, you got all these people here with this COVID thing. They're not wearing masks or they're against it. Come on, man. Some of those people think that it's not a big deal, which is fine. But those are the same type of people that probably have sex without condoms and don't mind if they take the chance that their wiener is going to burn.
Yeah. Or they create a little, 2-footed monster running around the house that they can't take care of, I don't know. It's crazy. You don't hear much about it now, but you still, to me, it's still weird that when you go into a restaurant, you have to wear a mask to go in.
Mm-hmm.
But you can take it off as soon as you get to that seat that's literally 6 feet away from you. And you don't have to wear it the rest of the time in there.
So if somebody walks past me and then turns their head and coughs on me as they go by, if I was sitting at a table, I'd be pissed. However,
but you don't have to wear it though. It was only to enter. I've seen signs that say you have to wear it to enter the restaurant.
yeah,
And
that's
then
what I'm saying though. They wear it as they pass the other people. And then the
Right.
tables are spaced 6 feet apart. So that you're supposedly in the safe zones. Then I get the idea behind it. I don't know how valid that is or how effective it is, but it's like anything, as long as somebody's doing something, people complain less about it.
Yeah, but do you honestly, and you're a fairly smart dude, do you really think that protects you from getting COVID?
I don't know.
If you go out through the entire day, everywhere you go, you think standing 6 feet from somebody is going to keep you from getting COVID?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. I mean, it sounds possible, but
Now they're talking about cutting it down to 3 feet. So what does that tell you?
that's bullshit. I mean, it wouldn't really matter. 6 feet's believable. 3 feet doesn't make. I mean, I could definitely spit on you in 3 feet. 6 feet, maybe when I was younger, but not now.
So what good does it do? We're at Universal, and you're in the, how the lines are. They go through. It looks
Mhm.
like a cattle.
Right.
You're herding cattle. So they have lines. They have strips that say 6 feet. Stay 6 feet from, people.
Mhm.
And so most places it's about 6 feet apart, and then there's ways where it's like you have the line, and then it's literally like 12 feet from the next one.
Mhm.
But so front and back, right? You're supposed to be 6 feet from each other. Stay on them lines. You're good.
Mhm.
But if you look to your left or right, you have people literally within 8 to 10 inches of you.
Wow.
What fucking difference? That's what I'm saying. Why does that? I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense.
And you have the handrails.
And you have the
Everybody-
handrails that I touched the entire time.
Did
'Cause
you?
I'm leaning on them. I'm touching up. Yeah, you're standing in line for an hour.
Yeah.
You want to sit somewhere. My kid's on it. I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to be on it. It's not that, look, I'm not trying to buck the system. I'm not trying to go, fuck you.
Right.
I'm not getting COVID and all that. Cause like I said, I think I had it, and it was the worst week of my entire life. And I don't wish it on anybody, but I do believe that the more we get out, the more that we are around people, the more that people are going to get sick. Flu's been around forever, and I know we got vaccines coming out now and whatever. I think it hurts more to be kept in a house away from everything
Mhm.
than it does being out, because you're going to get sick periodically anyway. You're still going to get sick. You're going to get a cold. That's kind of what COVID is anyways, from the cold family, isn't it? I believe.
The coronavirus and flu, cold and flu, I think, are all similar viruses.
Yeah. You can't stay in your house forever, and take the economy out of it. I think it's worse for you to not get out in the sun and try to stay healthy that way and be out in the environment and all that kind of stuff. Keep your immune system somewhat where it is. Now, look, you don't have to go out. You can sit at home and people can bitch and complain all they want and go, oh, they ain't wearing masks, they ain't doing this, this restaurant does this restaurant does that. I'm not going there. You don't
Stay
have to
home.
go. You
Yeah.
don't have to go. If you don't want to go out, don't go out. Don't complain about what everybody else is doing. You know? So Universal was packed when I went. I mean, so far I'm fine and my family's fine. Everybody, you had to wear a mask the entire time, but I don't know. I mean,
I've this past week I ran into a guy who had COVID a couple weeks ago. And when it comes down to physical ability of fighting off anything, I think he would probably be in the lowest tier possible. So he, when he got it, I was like, man, this dude's not gonna make it. There's no way this guy can make it. I don't think he could fight off a cold. But he had it, and he's pretty bad, supposedly for like a week or so, and then his girlfriend got it, and then that was like 3 weeks ago. Dude gets a vaccine the other day. He gets the vaccine the other day. I'm like, I think you already beat it. Don't you already have the immunity to it? Why are you getting a vaccine? Like, that could go to somebody who's not been infected if they want to have it.
plus you're supposed to feel like I guess you get sick from it too. They say when you can get sick. My uncle had it. My aunt and uncle both got sick after they got their vaccine.
Well, the thing that what the vaccine does, one of the vaccines, it takes the protein that is the shell of that cell that protects that cell of the virus, and it prepares your body to attack that when it gets in at smaller dosages or a smaller sample. So what it does, your body, instead of having to figure out how to fight it, it doesn't have to figure out how to fight it. It already has the blueprint to do so. So it attacks it sooner, so it doesn't have time to multiply as quickly as it did. Yeah. So what your body's doing is creating an immune response to that protein, but it's not of that virus. So it's a bioengineering genius concept. But
should we load up on like vitamins and stuff like A and C and E and zinc and all? I mean, I do anyway.
Yeah.
And D, vitamin D, because they say vitamin D and the sun, being out in the sun and all that, kills the virus. So why would we not just load up on vitamins the way you need to anyway?
But I've loaded up on so many vitamins for the last 3 or 4 months. They probably could market my pee as an energy drink right now.
It's like bright yellow.
Bright yellow sun.
Yeah, I mean, I take a lot of vitamins. I always have. I got away from them for a little while, and then my wife got me back on them. But I've always taken a lot of them. But I don't know if that's the reason why I don't really get sick a whole lot. But I don't know. I don't know. The mask thing kills me. I don't believe in the mask. I just don't. I do it. I wear it because I'm supposed to, and you can't get into a lot of places unless you wear it. You can't get into Universal unless you have it on continuously. But I just don't believe in it. I don't think it works. I don't think think that will keep you from getting it.
I don't think it hurts, but I don't know if it helps. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it hurts.
So
I don't think it hurts. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it can prevent you from getting it. Like, you may not get it, but it's not because of the mask. It's not like if you wear a mask, you will not get coronavirus, especially with a piece of paper around your face, or especially with the it's almost just like wearing a shirt over your face. And I know that for a fact. That's just a way to cover your face to get around the whole you got to wear a mask. Because I've wore those things before when I was cutting the grass, and then you go blow your nose and you have 5 pounds of dirt come out of your face.
Yeah.
Coronavirus is a lot smaller than dirt.
Right.
So how is that going to protect you?
Think of it like a mesh. I think the concept is that less particles get into the air, which causes it to be less transmissible.
Yeah, I think it's all a bunch of bullshit.
It's quite possible, man. I'm not a scientist.
Well, I'm sure there are masks that will stop it going out and coming in completely.
They wear them in space.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be wearing it out on a 95-degree day, though.
Yeah.
Again, I'll do it. I'll wear it. I comply. I don't bitch and complain about it. I just wear it. I mean, there's people now that go in the grocery store that don't wear masks.
Yeah.
You know, there's also Texas said wear them if you want to, but it's not a law. Nobody can make it law. You know,
Well,
I mean,
and Florida threw that out the window a long time ago, right?
yeah, they did. I just know that Texas said that they're not making it. It's not mandated. So if you don't want to wear it, you don't have to. You won't get in trouble for not wearing it somewhere. So Florida's wide open, man. But I mean, Universal, they make you wear them.
Yeah. I mean, you were just there, so you know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. There's instances where I feel more comfortable wearing it around a shit ton of people. Because I mean, I don't want to get it again, and I guess it does make me feel a little safe. But you know, I don't know.
There's I've seen quite a few people that probably are probably overdoing it just a bit, you know, but I don't know. They're wearing Tyvek suits, the face shield, the mask, the glasses.
There were some of those there.
Rubber gloves.
Yeah, there were some of those in the mix wearing the masks and all that. I mean the shields and everything. What's the shield gonna do? I've seen people wear a shield with no mask.
That's the same thing that the sneeze guard does at Golden Corral, brother. It keeps the slime off of your potatoes.
So does the virus only goes like this way and this way? It doesn't go up. I guess.
Well,
that's what
it's more for the person who could possibly have it to not transfer it to the other person, not to protect them, which I don't think they get.
It still floats out, though. Is what I'm saying.
But it goes down, and it can't go more than 6 feet. Well, 3 feet actually, right? 6 feet.
I don't think it really has good direction either. So it really doesn't know where it's going. So
yeah, I don't know, man.
Eventually, that shit's going to be gone. Not gone completely, but like gone. Oh, like where people aren't talking about it, you know, even less than they are now. Not completely gone, but it'll always be around. But
there's more evidence and more stories coming out that it was an accidental release of a biological weapon that was being experimented with, but that was from the get-go. They had already assumed that. So I don't know why that's a news story I was reading up today, and they were talking.
They were talking about, you know, was it from a wet market or from a lab? I even talked about it with a friend of mine, and he thought I was fucking crazy. I was like, "Why is that crazy? Something accidentally got out of a lab that they were messing with." I mean, it doesn't take but for 1 or 2 people to get it, jump on a plane to go somewhere, and next thing you know, they've infected 200 something people. Those people go somewhere and infect all those. I mean, it doesn't take long for that to spread out of a lab. You think about it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're doing research to figure out how to better combat something like that, you're probably going to run into making it stronger at some point in time instead of weakening it if it mutates. So there's a high probability that was just an accidental release, you know, and people don't want to talk about it because they say that it's racist because it comes from China. You don't want to call it the Chinese virus, even though it comes from Wuhan allegedly, and they've tried to skirt that it didn't come from there and just for PC purposes. And who knows, man? Even if it did come from there, it most likely that doesn't sound unbelievable.
Well, it's not unbelievable at all. I mean, again, it doesn't take but a couple people, even one person. It takes one person to get it. Jump on a plane that has 200 to 300 people on it. All those 200 to 300 people are going to be going to different places. Although they're going to touch somebody that's, you know, so you look at how much that's the multiplying factor. I mean, think about that. Then all those people going, I mean, and then over the next, month to 6 months, all those people are going to see thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and it continues to spread. And that's what happened. I'm not saying it happened from from the lab, but as far as how it spreads. So no, it's not unbelievable. And what's even scarier is that if shit like that is being produced, and you know it is,
right? Somebody's dabbling in it for sure.
Yeah. You think if somebody literally wanted to do something like that, and look at how fast that shit took hold.
Yeah, this is the test run. It seems like it could be easily.
Yeah. It's a conspiracy, man. Needs to be a movie about it. What has been movies about shit like that was
Outbreak was like that, wasn't it?
yeah, I think so.
Accident. Yeah, they got out of a lab and
Oh,
basically,
hell broke loose.
yeah,
Some dude filmed it on a little terrible camera and made a lot of money from it.
yeah. No, that was 28 days later.
Was it?
Yeah, that was.
Outbreak was the one with what's his name?
Is that God? No, he wasn't a monkey. The monkey got everything sick. Was he? Is that a Morgan Freeman movie?
Was it? No, I see the guy. I can see the guy's face.
Danny Glover.
Let's see. You gotta.
That'll irritate the crap out of me if I don't remember.
Dustin Hoffman, Morgan Freeman, Renee Russo.
Oh, see,
I was thinking of Dustin Hoffman. I forgot Morgan Freeman was in it. I might have to watch that movie again.
I think Morgan Freeman's in everything, isn't he?
I don't know. All I know is I just want him to tell the story of my life because it will sound fucking badass after he gets done with it.
Yeah,
He makes anything is interesting when he talks about it. I mean,
yeah, I would like for him to tell the base story and then Samuel L. Jackson tell the action parts.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson he'll make it badass, with all the F-bombs that he drops.
Right.
Morgan Freeman will make it sound very sophisticated and interesting, and people want to listen for sure. They'll want to tune in. It's kind of like that movie or the show that he did about does God exist? I think I can't remember the name. That might be the name of it, but that was interesting. If you haven't seen that, it's a pretty good one.
Yes, I watched it, and
which is a whole nother one I could talk for probably about 5 hours to 5 years.
We'll have to talk about that. I just finished a book. I wish I could remember the title of it. I'll pull it up here and I'll tell you what it was. And it was like 12 hours of Audible. Was how crazy it was.
Yeah, I'm careful about that, but I mean, I do have opinions, and I have a lot of questions and things that people can't answer.
Yeah, so it was The Immortality Key was the book we just finished. It's very much like what's that?
I get 2 free downloads. I'll have to download that one. Text me.
Yeah, but like I said, it's like 12 hours, bud. It's a commitment.
But that's stuff I'm interested in, though. I'm always interested in other people's opinions. As long as they talk openly about it, not just.
It's not so much a God book as it is a developmental study of religion.
Yeah.
And how I'd recommended Food of the Gods, the Terrence McKenna book, and basically, that as when we started, breeding livestock and being around them, that's where the psilocybin mushrooms grow, and there's a direct correlation with the time frame of us, having livestock around and getting our food sources that way. And then those showing up that our brains grew 300%, something insane like that. That's just me remembering improperly, but there was an expanse. Our brains developed very quickly, gained quite a bit more size around the time that we started having livestock, which, that causation, maybe, who knows? I mean, it may not be the reason, but I mean, signs point to it. So the psilocybin mushroom being able to grow our communications, our connection with one another, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Don't know. I mean, it's compelling. It's an interesting book to think about. It's another, I wouldn't say conspiracy theory, but it's along the same lines of something that's not 100% provable, but it's crazy to think about. And the Immortality Key is very similar in the fact that it goes back to the Dionysian wine drinking. It's not like the wine back then was the same wine that we have now. The wine back then was mixed with all kinds of crazy stuff to make you hallucinate, to have psilocybin type experiences, nightshade stuff that if it was mixed improperly could kill you.
Yeah.
And how that segued into the Eucharist of the Christians, the early Christian church, of being this psychedelic wine that were causing people to see God, to see that those visual experiences that are talked about in the Bible and whatnot. And then the church suppressing that and getting into, this guy does a tremendous amount of research, and he meets with a lot of priests. He gets into the Vatican's secret vault to study some of this stuff, and he talks to some of the priests and gets their ideas on it. And it's interesting, at least.
Yeah, I need to finish the I need to finish that Audible book.
Yeah. I get in 25-minute spurts of from here to work.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough when you got a long book like that to listen to, because I don't take long trips anymore in the vehicle. So
Mhm.
it'd be different if I was driving 2-3 hours still, but I don't do that anymore. So, but I need to listen to it. I need to, when I'm sitting here editing or something, I need to sit there and listen to it if I can take it all in. So,
Yeah, there's no way I could do it outside of just a ride from work and back.
yeah, because it would take me forever to finish a book at this point.
Right.
Because I mean, it's a trip. Like if I take the kid to school, it's like there and back is 30 minutes.
Right.
So I mean, that's every day. I could do that, but I don't know. It's, you have to pick up where you left off, and then you have to try to remember everything, and it's a long Audible book. So
Yeah. Well, when you finish it, man, we'll do another episode on it and we'll get your thoughts on it.
yeah, I really need to get back to it. I've just been so damn busy, but I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, for what I've listened to so far, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's a neat concept.
I'll just have to get deeper into it. Let's see. But I do get 2 free downloads, so I need to get a couple of really good books to listen to. Since I joined, what is it called? Audible or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So,
You're getting 2 a month? Good grief.
no. It sent me an email, so I get 2 free ones.
Oh.
So I need to pick 2 free books.
I think I've got to see how it works. I might be, if I finish a book, I might be able to share it with you. And you don't have to use a credit. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Shit, that's good. Just keep finishing books and keep sending me credits.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
does that go? I mean, would that go both ways?
I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I know that I was talking to
Shit, you would
somebody.
never pay for anything.
Yeah, I sent it to somebody, and somebody was able to. I don't know if they had to use a credit or not, and they read one of the books I'd sent. So, who knows?
I have to do that. I don't know. I would. I don't know. Let me know. Shoot me the text too of that other one, because I want to. I'd like to. That'd be one of my downloads probably.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. It's, the guy does a tremendous amount of research. And
Yeah.
he didn't seem to make a tremendous amount of leaps in without having some type of evidence to think that. So I don't know. I mean, it was interesting to listen to, at least from a theoretical standpoint of is that a possibility? And
I'm always up to talk about. I think it's super interesting to talk about the whole God thing, though. That's always been an interesting thing to me.
yeah,
To see what people think. Hear their side. I mean, obviously, you get people. I know a lot of people that are deep into that, but then, I don't know. Got a lot of questions that nobody seems to answer the right way.
yeah,
Always very vague, and that's just what God. That's what God's plan. Oh, okay. Why would that be his plan? Why would his plan be to kill me early?
right. Well, I mean, if you from a compositional standpoint of how the entire religion is put together, it's the Christianity is probably the easiest to follow.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just ask for forgiveness. So it's maybe that's why it's a lot of followers.
I don't know. I just always thought that it was not always. I take that back, because I was the way I was born and raised. Obviously, I've always believed in God, but I just wonder. There's this book that somebody made full of rules to help people comply to how somebody felt or a group of people felt. So they made this book of laws.
Mhm.
It's what it is. It's a book of laws that they want you to follow, and it's
And
been passed
parables
down.
and stories, but it was also selected by a group of individuals to be that book. There's a bunch of books that never made it to the final iterations of the Bible.
Yeah, and it's there's been a whole lot of different. They've been revised over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Depending
Well,
on
the
what
first,
religion you've been in, depending on
yeah,
what religion you're in. So, Baptist always has a lot of revisions in their book, and
yeah,
tells basically the same story. But if you go, to I don't know whatever version you want to go to, still the same kind of story, but it's told. It sounds different, but it's the same story.
oh yeah,
Even starting at Genesis, going all the way through. So, I mean, I've read the Bible a long time ago, but I don't know. I just think it's a way to make you fear doing anything bad and to make people good and do good things. Um,
at the time that it was really gaining popularity through Europe, you didn't really have a way to govern all the people on the outskirts of the kingdoms. And if you had an all powerful, all seeing being governing over everyone, it's easier to keep the masses in check.
it is. I
So,
mean, yeah. I mean, it's like 10 Commandments. That kept a lot of people in check. you know.
well, a lot of that goes by like Hammurabi's rule or laws, and they're basic great teachings to keep people in check and keep people from doing things in society that's just detrimental to groups.
Yeah.
Like you having an affair with somebody's wife, or you not being truthful, or you being jealous of somebody else's possessions and wanting to take them, or if you want to steal them, or if you want to kill somebody else. There's all those rules just make sense. If you want to have a society that's not going to be killing each other all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it made people more human and not animalistic. Because if you
Yeah.
really go way back to the beginning, whatever that beginning really is, I mean, people didn't know how to act, I'm assuming, and everybody acted like animals. It was every man for themselves, right? So,
Right.
um, it brought kind of order, some kind of, order to the population, and yeah, made people just more humane, more caring about what the hell was going on. So, yeah, if you did kill somebody, they went with and it's an eye for an eye type thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, like you said, it makes sense because, why would you want to take somebody else's life? Somebody should pay for that, you know. Um, but as far as that goes, I mean, you know, I don't know. Like I said, it's a deep conversation that you could get into for hours because you get into the heaven, the hell, where people
Right.
go, is there afterlife and all that kind of stuff, which takes you a whole different road. Um, that's a very long, in-depth conversation by itself. So, um, but it's an interesting topic for sure because there's so many people that think so many different ways.
Yeah.
Uh, like the power of prayer and all that. Does it work? A lot of people believe in that. A lot of people think it's silly. You know. Um,
Yeah. That sounds like a whole nother episode though. So we could probably wrap this sucker up.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's a whole long different topic. So you could go down several roads with that. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Well,
hey,
thanks for coming out on this one, man. It was a good talk. We probably could talk for hours and hours. That's why we can do this, and we
yeah,
can. We won't run out of ideas. And other people, if they care about listening, they'll just tune on in.
you got to start it sometime, man. It's number one.
It's
Glad to
number
be a part
one.
of it. Glad to be a part of it.
I'm glad you
Oh,
were
man.
part of it, man. Tell everybody where they can find your podcast.
Manchester's podcast. Find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your podcast or your favorite podcast. Go to Instagram, Jason Manchester or Manchester's podcast. Go follow me, man. I got a lot of cool stuff on there.
Right on, brother.
DM me,
Well,
say hey, whatever. Listen, subscribe to my podcast and Shannon's. So,
sure. Well, brother, it was good talking to you. We will see you next time.
all right, man.
Peace.
Peace.